Yo, good day, gents. Out taking a walk on this beautiful day. Tell you, it's been scorching hot here in Idaho the last couple weeks, and today's nice, overcast, a little cooler, and it just feels good to take a little walk and get outside. And the nice thing is tomorrow it's supposed to warm up, and I've invited my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, some friends, members from our team to come out to the lake and spend a little time tomorrow. So it should be nice and warm enough to have a picnic, a little fun on the boat. Should be a great time. I'm a little late in getting this week's podcast out, in part because, one, I've really been thinking about it and trying to collect my thoughts in a way that I can share the thoughts, the concerns of my heart in a way that is productive, it's uplifting, and it helps all of us men to be better fathers, to be better husbands, to be better leaders in our circle of influence. Last week, my wife took one of her various trips, down to her girlfriend, and they had a great time for celebrating her birthday a little late. And so while Judy was gone, I decided to go and watch the movie Sound of Freedom, which I'm sure you've seen it. And I tell you, it is a powerful, powerful story. It is heart-wrenching to watch. And in part, I wanted to watch it because Tim Ballard, who the story is about, we are one step away from having a personal connection with Tim. So the gentleman who ran the orphanage that Judy and I adopted our two kids from in Haiti, his name is Gesno Marty. And years ago, it's been over 8 years now, Gesno and his family were coming out of their church, and as they were stepping out, their son Gardy, 4 years old, was walking 15-20 feet in front of him, and some gang members on a scooter came by and swooped up his son, and he's never seen his son since. And Tim Ballard, learning of what had happened, actually came into Haiti and worked with Gesno to try to find and rescue his son. And in their first attempts to try to rescue Gardy, they went in and they had a pretty good lead on where Gesno's son was. And they go in there, and somehow Gesno's son got moved. They got word, and they were able to come in. And while they weren't able to get Gardy, they were able to rescue 28 kids, all under the age of 11. And so Tim was very heartbroken that he wasn't able to rescue Gardy. And so when he came back and he stepped into the room where Gesno was, their eyes met, and immediately Gesno knew that they weren't able to rescue his son. And I can't imagine what it would be like to have one of my kids be stolen, and for years go into their bedrooms and they not be there. And Gesno, seeing Tim, their eyes met, and Gesno just started crying, and Tim as well. And after crying for a bit, Gesno lifted his head up and he said, "Well, at least we saved 28 kids. And if I have to sacrifice my son for those 28 kids, I guess that's what we have to do. Now, I don't know if I personally would have had the courage to say that, to live that. And Gesno still, every night, is out there looking for his son. And it's been, I think, 8 years now. And dude, that would be absolutely heart-wrenching to me. So what is the message that I want to share with you guys? So as I was watching this movie and I'm watching the origin story of Tim Ballard beginning to go on this mission, this lifetime mission of rescuing kids and pulling in men and women who could help him. At the beginnings of the story, he shows how he's trying to convict and get evidence on this pedophile and to actually gain the trust of this pedophile in a way that he will not only be able to have the evidence against him, but more importantly, be able to ascertain where some of these children are that are being held in the United States and other countries, but in particular, United States. And the key thing was pornography. And I think a lot of times we disassociate an addiction to pornography with sexual predators and with kids getting trapped and taken and forced into sexual servitude, sexual slavery. And I think a lot of you men, you're struggling with pornography. You recognize that it's bad. You recognize that it's putting a dark spot in your heart. It's putting a wall between you and your relationship with your wife. It's putting a wall in the relationship between you and your kids, because there's something hidden that you are working through. And somehow we got to bring this addiction to light in your personal life. And whether that is working with a counselor, coming straight forward to your wife and going, look, sweetheart, I'm really struggling. And it's going to break her heart. It will break her heart, right? Because in her mind and in her heart, you guys have a connection. And pornography, in her mind, and arguably so, is a form of cheating, because you emotionally are disconnecting yourself to go after this imaginary relationship, this imaginary moment that fulfills a desire for the moment, but leaves you hollow, leaves you wanting, leaves you feeling less about yourself. And I've worked with a lot of men and talked to a lot of men who have struggled with pornography, and I can tell you that this is what happens. And somehow, over time, you got to recognize that you need to master yourself, to master this addiction, so that you don't indirectly contribute to the problem. Because some of the young ladies that you might be looking on at porn, or even purposely looking at porn, may be under the age of 18, under the age of 14, under the age of even that. And unless we do our small part in mastering ourselves, mastering our passion, mastering our addiction, we indirectly could be contributing to the problem of children being kidnapped enslaved, and forced to do things that no child should ever have to do. No young lady, no young boy should ever have to lose their innocence because of the appetite that we as men have, and that we somehow have lost control of, and that we need to get control of in our heart and in our life. So men, I'm pleading with you. And I know if we're not actively trying to guard our hearts, guard our desires, guard our passions, guard our loyalties to the women in our lives, to guard our heart and loyalties to the children that we fathered. Because I can tell you, man, if your daughter or your son were somehow kidnapped and forced into this trade, into doing these things, you would not sleep at night. You would do everything in your power to rescue your kids. So let's do everything in our power to not be the problem and the source and the pain and the darkness of some kids that have been trapped in a way that they never imagined or never wanted. Let's be men of integrity. I love what my good friend Sean Hart often says. He goes, I never want to be a public success, but a private failure. So what are you doing in private that is a mirror of what you are doing publicly? And would you like the things that you are doing privately? Would you feel comfortable, and would you be proud if they were exposed, if they were brought to light? So my invitation to you men is that we need to do better. We need to be better. Because to me, really what life is about, it's about becoming. And a lot of us have struggled with different aspects of our life. But change comes moment by moment, hour by hour, day by day, week by week, month by month, year by year, until one day you wake up and you look at yourself and go, wow, I really have become who I aspired to be. Or you wake up and go, wow, I have become somebody I don't want to be. But the beauty of it is we can build out of it. So anyway, guys, something for you guys to think about. I hope it touches your heart. I hope it inspires you to do better and be better. And thank you so much for tapping in. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And you guys have an awesome day. See ya!